All right, hey guys, OFD checking in here, and today I wanted to do just kind of a quick overview of my Seiko Tunas in my collection. I was watching Chris Marshall's video he did, I think, a day or two ago on the Seiko Tuna and what a great watch it is, and I totally agree with him. I think that, especially the 7C46 models, these two here, this is the sbbn035 and the sbbn043, both run the 7C46 movement, which is a jeweled movement from Seiko, jeweled quartz movement that have been around for a long time and is a very renowned movement. This one here in the middle, this is the solar Digi Tuna, the golden tuna, the solar model, latest one. I think this is from 2018. I think both of these models here are from 2018. I'm not quite sure. This might be about a 2008 model. I think this is a 2010 model, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not really sure on the date range of those, but anyways, that's the deal. And then this is the sbep001, the digital tuna. This was also called a Field Master by a lot of people because of the functionality of this watch, but again, this one has been discontinued. This was made in a number of different colorways and styles and whatnot. I think that every single one of them has been discontinued, but I think they're great watches all the way around. I think it's really hard to go wrong with a Seiko Tuna. I'm calling it tuna, right? I'm wearing a turtle on my wrist right now. On that Sifu strap, SIFU is the strap. These things are awesome. Been wearing it for a couple days. I also put my Rolex Sea Dweller on the gray one, and it works great. But anyways, the Tuna series is an awesome lineup of watches, true tool watches, true divers watches, and they're just very, very well built. Steel shroud protecting the bezel on the watch, true 300-meter rating. I know these watches have been tested. I've seen videos where they test them to well beyond the 300 meters. Now, between these two, you'll see a big difference here. This has a domed, I don't believe this is sapphire. I believe this is a Hardlex crystal, but you do have a domed crystal without any AR coating, and you can see there it's picking up all kinds of reflections of my lights. This older model is a Marine Master, which they're not making these anymore. I think it makes these fairly valuable. I think you can find these on the secondary market for right around $1,000 for the 035. The 043 is a little bit more sought after, I think. Maybe it's the blue color, and I've seen these as much as like $1,800 on eBay used, but both run the 7C46 movement. Flip them over here, take a look at the back. You can see all the information there on the case back. I said this was a 2008, I think it's a 2007 model, and it looks like this is probably a 2010, September of 2010, but really cool watches all the way around. Both have just excellent sounding bezel action on these. This one is actually a little bit crisper on the 043, but both great Seiko watches. Heavy duty, these are full steel, so these are going to be your modern 7C46 Tuna watches. And these two particularly are probably some of my favorites in the lineup. I love this. I think they call this the Ninja or the Darth Tuna. I'm not quite sure, but really cool watches all the way around. And then this one, the sne498, this is a great watch. I kind of bought this at the time when I bought it as kind of a G-Shock alternative, and it works great that way. With the solar movement in here, you can charge this thing up. It's going to run for 6 months solid, and it's not going to have any problems. Now, it is a plastic shroud on this one, so it's a lot more lightweight. I know that there's aftermarket companies out there making stainless steel shrouds that you can put on this. For me, it kind of takes away from the point of the watch. It's a lightweight tool watch that can get the job done, and I don't want to put a stainless steel shroud on here and add a bunch of weight to it. I bought it, because of what it was. Solar movement, everything like that. Watch is going to run great. You can find these on the secondary market for between $350 and probably $400. You can tell I wear my watches, but cool looking piece. And then the last but not least, this is the sbep001 or something like that. Different watch. This is a really cool watch. I really like this watch and the way everything works on it. So you got different modes that you can run through here. Actually, I think mode is this side here. So you got chronograph functionality. You can recall the chronograph stuff. You got a timer in here. You can set that for timing certain things. You got different alarm settings, and all the time you can see the regular time down there at the bottom, as well as your battery indicator, because this one is also solar, letting you know how much battery life you have in there. And then that's how much solar level is getting charged. So we're under, studio lights here, so it's barely even going to charge in here. But you take this out in the sunlight, you'll see that level up to 10, which is really cool. So cool looking timepiece. And a lot of people ask about the rotating bezel. It is very hard to turn on here. But the point of the rotating bezel, just so you know, is if you see these hash marks right on the outside of the dial here, these are going to count off every single minute. So if you set it there, you can automatically tell with the countdown how many minutes have gone by since you set the timer. You can also use the timer on the watch itself. But so the bezel is totally functional. I know that's something people have asked me about quite a bit. But one thing I want to do is with Seiko watches, with Tuna watches, of course, the Lume is very, very impressive. So we're going to go ahead and kill the lights and check out the Lume on these Tuna watches. And I'll show you how the digital light comes on that one. All right, so just dimming the studio lights, you guys can see these watches glowing. It's almost funny doing Lume shots with Seikos because their proprietary Lume bright is so strong that it's almost silly. Like, everyone knows how bright it is. But everyone also likes a Lume shot, and if I don't do it, I will hear from you guys about that. So Lume bright on all of these, very, very impressive. Lasts more than all night, lasts all night, all day long. The pip on this one is also lumed, and you might say why, because there's nothing else glowing on the watch. But what's cool with this one is if you tap that screen, it pops right up there as far as the light goes, and that's as easy as that. And that's a setting you can have set up on the watch, which I think is cool because you don't have to push any buttons to turn the light on. So if you're actually using it in a diving situation, quick tap like that, and you got your light on. So, all right, guys, the Tuna series from Seiko watches. I think if you are, I say the Tuna series, they've been around forever, but the Tuna lineup, I think if you are a watch collector, especially a Seiko collector, you have to have a Seiko Tuna in your collection. And I think one of them should say Marine Master on it. I think that's a big part of it. So, all right, guys, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up down there at the bottom. And if you've not subscribed to the OFD channel yet, please do. Please do. Thanks, guys.